Hi guys, my name is Carolyn Heath and I'm going to discuss the transactional model of stress and coping. Pay attention because there's a quiz at the end. I know y'all just love quizzes. First off, it's a classic framework for evaluating processes of coping with stressful events. Stressful experiences are construed as personal and environment transactions, meaning when the impact of an external stressor is mediated by the person's appraisal of the stressor and the psychological, social, and material resources at his or her disposal. There are a few constructs within the transactional model of stress and coping, so I'm going to briefly go over those with you guys. Primary appraisal is a person's judgment about the significance of an event as stressful, positive, controllable, challenging, benign, and irrelevant. So when an individual perceives an event as threatening, it can cause distress, and when the event is perceived as positive or irrelevant, then little negative threat is felt. The secondary appraisal is an assessment of coping resources and options in a situation. So this is when an individual perceives the ability to change the situation, manage emotional reactions, and even cope effectively. Some coping efforts within this model include problem management, where an individual incorporates active coping, problem solving, and information seeking. Then there is emotional regulation, where an individual may vent their feelings or seek social support, be in denial, and even become disengaged. Lastly, there is meaning-based coping, in which the coping process produces positive emotions, which in turn sustains the coping process. In addition, there are dispositional coping styles within the transactional model of stress and coping. These are generalized ways of behaving that can affect a reaction to a stressor. They include optimism, benefit finding, and information seeking. These concepts are relatively stable across time and situations. As an example of this model, I want to talk about a few years ago when my grandpa was sick and he was in and out of the hospital and then eventually hospice care. He was extremely sick for several months leading up to his death. And my mom was his main care provider during this time. It's usually common for someone to experience a burden or strain or anxiety when providing for sick loved ones, since it is a difficult time. However, my mom maintained a really positive outlook during this time and found meaning and even peace during his last months. She evaluated this experience and chose to remain positive since it is a way of life. She went through the coping efforts and managed the problem into a non-stressful situation by regulating her emotions into positive ones. She chose optimism through this time because she knew that it would mean more to her in the end, that she stayed strong and chose to have positive thoughts throughout. So now for the quiz. I hope y'all have been paying attention. Alright, so just a few questions, nothing big. Number 1, what are generalized ways of behaving that can affect emotional or functional reaction to a stressor? A, problem management. B, dispositional coping styles. Or C, secondary appraisal. I hope you picked B, dispositional coping styles. That's the correct answer. Question number 2, true or false? Coping efforts are actual strategies used to mediate primary and secondary appraisals. And the answer is true. Hope y'all got that correct. Sorry, I know that was really cheesy, but just trying to keep it interesting. But let me know how y'all did in the comments, and thanks for watching.